Hello guys, how are you doing? This is Rob of Rule of Two Review. I hope your day is going well, and today I want to discuss whether or not Nintendo might be sitting on one final big secret reveal before the end of 2023. Now, as you can imagine, with only about 5 or 6 weeks to go before the end of the year, a lot of people's heads are starting to spin and wonder about what Nintendo might be planning between now and the end of the year. And of course, this is essentially predicated on the fact that a lot of us expect that Nintendo is sitting on an imminent reveal of brand new hardware, the Nintendo Switch 2, the oldest topic in the video game world as far as the internet goes over the course of the past year. And of course, I own part of that because I've been talking about the idea for about 3 years. But at the end of the day, it is the thing we all wonder about and we all hope is about to happen. Naturally, the other big mystery when it comes to Nintendo is my most anticipated game of like the past 15 years, which is easily Metroid Prime 4. And so I think between something like next-gen hardware, the Nintendo Switch 2, or something like Metroid Prime 4, which has been mysterious for 6 freaking years, it is such a crazy scenario, is there a chance in this final 11th hour of the year that Nintendo might actually be preparing a surprise last-minute reveal of one or both of these things? Now, I'm going to be honest, I find this to be a tricky topic to navigate, because I happen to think that Nintendo is very close to revealing both of these things. I think before we reach the midpoint of 2024, so we're only talking about 6 or 7 months from right now, I think between now and summer of 2024, basically, we will have seen the reveal of both new next-generation hardware and probably Metroid Prime 4. Now, there is also the smallest chance that one or both of those things could even release between now and then. I mean, when you extend beyond 6 or so months, there's a lot of options on the table. They can reveal one of these things and then release it only 5 or 6 months later. Even something like next-generation hardware. The Switch itself was only 6 months between reveal in October 2016 and the release in March of 2017. Metroid Dread, the last new Metroid game, we're not talking about Metroid Prime Remastered, that also was only revealed and released within a handful of months. It was revealed in June and then released in October. So it's very possible that these things could not only be revealed, but even be released and we might be playing them before the middle of the year. But at the end of the day, it's hard to predict. I'm just saying my personal prediction is we will bare minimum know about the existence of these things in an official capacity from Nintendo before summer of 2024. Now, bringing it back to the 2023 conversation, is Nintendo sitting on an 11th hour confirmation of one or both of these things? This is where, like I said, it is a tricky thing to navigate because it is hard to know, man. There are so many smokescreen stories out there and people claiming leaks and rumors, and there's a lot of, I'm just going to give my personal opinion, there's a lot of what I think is made up stuff, you know, from a variety of sources. I mean, I'm talking just all over the place. There's some things that are very much juicy nuggets that I think have a kernel of truth to them, and those are the most exciting. And I've even talked about a lot of those on my channel over the course of the last year or so. But it's just a really hard thing to know for sure. I think when we consider Nintendo giving us a surprise reveal at this point before 2023 is over, most of us probably focus our sights squarely on Jeff Keighley's Game Awards, which happens next month in December. Now, Nintendo appearances are rare at the Game Awards, but they absolutely do happen, most especially in the Reggie era. We all remember some of the weirdest, most awkward, but still kind of fun interactions and interviews between Reggie and Jeff Keighley, which also go back to the earlier days of the Game Awards itself, when it was really just an unfinished product. I mean, it was a work in progress for like the first, 6 or so years, that whole thing. I said before, I have a lot of critiques of the show, but I do admire Jeff Keighley, going out of his way to try to put something together for us to enjoy as game fans every year. And so even the bad years, it's like, well, at least he's trying something, and so I appreciate that. And like I said, Nintendo and Reggie, they've been there before. They even won Game of the Year with Breath of the Wild in 2017. That was a ton of fun. They announced the Zelda DLC at that show. They've announced Smash Brothers DLC characters. Bayonetta 3 was announced at one show. Funky Kong, right, is one of the most notorious things to come out of a Reggie and Jeff Keighley Game Awards announcement. It's been a rocky and weird, but sometimes fun ride. And of course, we also can't forget that Microsoft, of all companies, with Phil Spencer, did choose to reveal the Xbox Series X at the Game Awards 2019 it probably would have been, or maybe it was even early 2020 before it released at the end of the year. I don't remember now, but that's the thing that happened. So I don't think Nintendo would necessarily choose that format or that place to reveal new hardware, but the precedent has been set by at least one of the three major companies to do so. So do with that information what you will. Nintendo, just like any company, can change up their patterns of behavior at any time. And maybe in years past, they would never reveal new hardware at the Game Awards. But who's to say that 2023 doesn't become the year that they've changed their minds? It's entirely possible. You can compare the Bayonetta situation to the Metroid Prime 4 situation. Many years ago, was this the 2017 Game Awards, I want to say, or 2018? One of those 2 years, they revealed Bayonetta 1 and 2 Collection for the Switch when the Switch was a new console, and then after that reveal, immediately said, oh, we're also making Bayonetta 3 with a little tease, and suddenly we knew that game was real. Granted, that took like another 5 years to finally release, but they did make a pretty significant reveal at the show at that time. And so between the Xbox Series X or between the Bayonetta situations and Smash Bros. Characters reveals, Nintendo sometimes chooses to reveal things at that show, and I guess there's a slight chance that maybe this year they decide to do it again. But I have to be honest here, and boy could I be getting myself in trouble when I say this, especially because of what I've been thinking could happen for 3 or so years now. But if I'm honest with you, while there is a sliver of a chance they do reveal something this year, and I sure as hell want them to, it's hard for me to put my chips on this one, man. It's really hard for me to think with only 5.5 or so weeks to go that Nintendo was waiting to reveal a massive bomb like the Switch 2, like Metroid Prime 4, or even some other big thing like the next 3D Mario game, or who knows what else they could do that's huge. A new Smash Brothers game, I don't know. Any kind of massive megaton reveal between now and December 31st, it's pretty unlikely, you guys. I would love to be proven wrong because in a funny roundabout way, if I'm proven wrong with this, I would actually be still proven right from my 2020 predictions when I was thinking 2022 or 23 would be the year that we would see the Switch 2. So I'm just going to put that out there. That would be a very crazy, ironic coincidence. But yeah, all I can do is be honest with you guys. And with so little time to go and Nintendo still wanting to sell Switches for the holidays, I just don't think it makes sense for them to reveal the Switch 2. I mean, to be fair, a new big game like Metroid Prime 4 or Mario Kart 9 or whatever, that wouldn't do the kind of damage to their attempt to sell Switch games that I think a Switch 2 would do. Even though I still think the Switch 2 reveal might not make as big of an impact as some people think, but at the end of the day, I still think they would probably try to avoid it. I mean, they're repackaging old games and old versions of their Joy-Cons and Switch consoles to resell for holiday sales this year. They've got the red Mario Kart 8 bundle. They've got the Smash Brothers bundle they're bringing back with like the Smash logo branded Joy-Cons, which really isn't showing a whole lot of effort from them, but they're definitely trying, I think, to empty their stock. You know, this is just my opinion. I see them attempting to empty their stock for this final holiday where it's the last holiday that the Switch as we know it is the only hardware on the market. They will be selling 2017 Switch hardware next holiday as well. But the difference is I think the Switch 2 will already have released, and so they're going to be continuing to sell the back stock of Switch OLEDs and Switch Lites, but also the Switch 2 or whatever that thing is also going to be on the market. That is absolutely my prediction. And so because of that, whatever they've got in inventory now, it's the last Switch-only holiday per my prediction. And so, knowing that they're trying to clear out that stock, I do think they're probably holding off on the Switch 2 reveal. Even though, like I said, they could still shock us, and I am open to that. There is 10 to 15% of me that thinks it still could be possible. It is ultimately not something I see in the cards. So, a big game, Metroid Prime 4 or something, maybe. Switch 2, way less likely. Ultimately, I think they're probably done with announcements across the board. My prediction is in January or February, one of the first 2 months of 2024, they're going to give us something huge. Maybe it's a regular Nintendo Direct that has a ton of huge things in it, or maybe it's a next-gen hardware reveal, combination of both, who knows? But that's what I think is probably going to happen, and as much as we all want a big surprise this year, as much as we'd love to see them shock us at the Game Awards, slightly possible, I still don't think we should get too excited for it just yet, guys. Let's be a little bit patient. couple weeks to go. We'll ride out 2023, but I bet early on in 2024, Nintendo's going to start hitting us with the hotness, and to me, that gets me very excited. So tell me what you think below, and that's about it.